If we talk to fact, it can be activity fact, claims fact, claim element fact, employee fact. All these things will be the fact table. So you must know what data goes to dimension, what data goes to fact, what is dimension and what is fact, what are the types of dimensions, how do we manage the dimensions and facts, and what is the relation between dimensions and facts. These are the things we are discussing today. Okay. So dimension. First we will go with the dimension. Dimension tables are something which have only the textual descriptive columns data. Smaller tables, denormalized tables containing business descriptive columns that end users can query on. I'll tell you an example. I have a customer table in my database. ID, name, account number, phone number, address, amount withdrawn. Okay. These are the columns in my source table. ID is A12, name is Shari, account number is 008, phone number is 999, address is 91, amount is 1000, withdrawn amount is 5000. This is a record which is available in your source. Okay, in your data warehouse. ID is your primary key in your database. Okay, but in data warehouse we don't take the ID, the primary key of your database as a primary key. We create a separate primary key called as surrogate key. Okay, that should be encoded. Then ID, the name. This will be auto increment primary key. We call it as a surrogate key. So we will be generating through Informatica. These are the values which are stored into your dimension table. Only the textual descriptive columns, what represent the particular customer. Apart from that, the amount fields we are not storing in dimension. Okay. So what we store is customer ID, customer name, account number, phone number, and address. Here ID will not be a primary key. We create a primary key in the dimension and a fact table, that is called a surrogate key, which is an auto increment sequence number which can be generated using three ways. We have a couple of transformations which helps us in creating the sequence number, or you can use the Oracle sequence to generate this sequence number. They may ask you in the interview questions, what is the surrogate key, how it is designed. Okay, the surrogate key is an auto increment primary key which is designed, which is created in every dimension and fact. Okay. Why do we use primary key as auto increment is to improve the join performance, because yesterday we discussed the data is stored based on subject oriented, subjects wise. The data will be huge, so for that purpose, the number key column when we join the performance will be better. Okay, that's about the dimension table of fact table. Dimension will have only textual descriptive columns. Okay. Fact tables have only keys and measures. Okay. Fact tables will have only keys and measures. What are the keys and measures it have is, again I will take this as a customer fact. Okay. What it has is fact ID is your surrogate key which you create, and Cust keys you are pulling from the customer table. Okay, this is how fact and dimension are related. These are the records. So when you want to identify, like, okay, visually what is the amounts for that particular customer, will join with the fact table to get the amounts of this particular customer. Okay. So why do we load these things? This is for a business logic. We have only the keys and measures in the fact table. We cannot load any measures in the dimension table. Okay. Clear?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why? How? So address that can also change, right? Is that not like a fact?
Fact will not change. I mean, see, I'm not talking about the change. We'll talk the change in the next, in the coming next, the later part of the session. What we are doing is, this is a textual descriptive columns we are putting into a dimension. Okay. This amounts, right, this here, it is like, it maintains the current data. Whatever the transactions are based on the amount measurable columns, it will be only the current data.
Okay.
Your amounts cannot be historical.
Okay.
Okay. This can be your historical data. Visually can change your phone number anytime if you can change your address. Okay. So this is like historical data. Okay. When we are building the saving of the data, it will be only the dimension where we will be maintaining the history, not the fact.
Okay.
In fact, we will not maintain any history. It will be having just current data. Based on these keys. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So then basically you are not maintaining history of the address in this case.
See, here I am not maintaining, I am just giving a descriptive for what is dimension, what is fact. When we go to that part, I'll explain you how we'll maintain the history.
Okay.
Okay.
But in dimension table we have everything, right?
We don't have, this is your source table, we don't have all the fields, right? If you take the amount, amount with
yeah, I didn't
that
see
are
that.
stored to fact table.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you want, you will be joining these two tables. That is why this customer key is populated to your fact table.
With the surrogate key, right?
Yeah, with the surrogate. That you will be doing using the Informatica. Any ETL tool. This is the basic standards for data warehousing, basic rules for data warehousing that you can do using any ETL tool.
So is this the schema for data extraction, which we use for data extraction?
It's not the schema for data extraction. It is a process like, see, this customer table you will have in source. You may take another table also where you can join customer another table and put the value to customer dimension and customer fact. Okay, as I said, integrated multiple sources, right? If you have, as the database is normalized, if you want to put the data into a denormalized like this dimension, you will be joining 2-3 tables here and putting the data to customer dimension. That is like data model. We call it as data mapping document. How this comes into picture is based on your schemas.
Okay.
Okay. All the schemas are designed. Okay, we have two schemas in Informatica, in data warehousing. One is star schema and the second one is Snowflake schema. Okay, the facts are very large tables with primary keys from the concatenation of related dimension table, foreign keys columns, and processing numerical additive non-key columns used for calculation during end-user queries. Okay, this is about the facts. Okay, what is star schema is? Star schema is something. There will be a central fact table. There will be a big fact table surrounded by dimensions in the form of a star. That is called a star schema. Okay. If you see here, take this as one fact table, POS day as one fact table. Okay. If you see here, product, vendor, location, and period are your dimension tables. If you see in POS day, period ID, the primary key from this table is the foreign key here, location ID, product ID, vendor ID. Okay. And there are a couple of keys, and there will be a fact ID which will not be showing up here in the design. It will be auto increment primary key will be creating. If you see here, after that we have activity code, sales unit, sales retail, gross profit. Okay. Here you can, it is not mandatory you have to give only measure some columns if that is justifying something your business. Any code, any flag also you can give. Okay. Understood? Hello?
Kind of.
Yeah. This is your dimension table which you loaded. If you see here, we don't have any measurable columns here. All the period date, period week, period month, period quarter, period year, all this thing. This is nothing but your time dimension or a calendar dimension. Yesterday I told, right? Time dimension and calendar dimension is very mandatory. It is used to capture every detail in data warehousing.
Okay.
The same thing. So here location, what is the location of the particular store or something? What is the product you are purchasing? What is the product name? What is the category code? What is the weight? What is the height? All these things. And here you'll find the vendor. Who is the vendor? From which vendor you purchase? All these things. These all details are here. And how, if you are purchasing a product, what is the sales price of the product? What is the how many units you purchase? What is the profit? And all these things will be available in your fact table. To store all this in your fact table, the primary keys, the primary keys of these 4 dimension tables, which are connected to the fact, must be having these keys as the foreign keys in the fact table. When you want to find out what is the product I purchased, so it will get the what product I purchased, what is the price of the product, from which location I purchased the product, or what time I purchased the product, and also from which vendor did the product has been shipped. All these things are stored in these 5 tables: period, location, product, vendor, and POS.
Okay.
Now it's clear?
Yes.
So this is the job of an architect or a data modeler who identifies the dimension tables, what values will go to dimension table. If I'm an architect, yesterday I told like loans tables, right? I have 4 loan tables. So what I will do is I'll put into a loan subject. Okay. So when I'm loading it, I create a data mapping document saying like loan dimension, and that will be like one of the table like here. So the loan dimension are getting for 4 tables that I'll provide in data mapping, but high level document I'll just give, okay, this is the loan dimension, and you are putting it into a particular table. Okay. And this is star schema. Star schema is highly denormalized schema. Okay. Now what is Snowflake is? Normalized star schema is called Snowflake schema. What is the difference we are finding here from star schema? This is star schema. This is your star schema. What is the difference you are finding it here?
The dimension tables are also joined, right?
Where? To which they are joined? To the fact?
To each other. No, the dimension the tables are also, joined to each other. They are joined to the fact, obviously, but they are joining to each other also.
No, they are not directly joined to the fact table. If you see this, they are not directly joined to the fact table. These two things or objects are not joined to the fact table directly. They are joined with your dimension table, main dimension table. Okay. As I said, Snowflake is a normalized form of your star schema. Okay. It's a normalized form of your star schema. We are normalizing the existing dimension tables. I just given an example of one product. It can be any table, you can do the normalization. Okay. Here I have, if you see here, I have category code, subcategory code, category name, subcategory name. This is the product descriptions. Okay. If I come here, what I did is I created a table, separate table for subcategory and category. Okay. If you see here, these are the foreign keys of this particular dimension. These are again two new dimensions, subcategory code and category code. I am normalizing my product dimension. Based on that, I am storing two more dimensions with categories. Clear?
Okay.
This is how it joins up. This key will be loaded here. Okay. From here, this key will be loaded to this. This is how it works. They are interrelated, interjoined, like the way how we do in ER modeling, the same way we normalize the denormalize the star schema to make it snowflake schema.
To make it complex?
It's not complex. It's like we are normalizing the dimensions according to the business.
Okay.
Okay. This is about the schemas. Any concerns or any doubts on this schema? The schemas are designed using a tool called Erwin Data Modeler. Erwin tool.
Adwin?
Erwin.
ARWIN?
No, ERWIN.
ERWIN. Okay.
Yeah, Erwin. This is the one which you do the data modeling. Okay. This is a data modeling tool. How you use. Okay. Now, so
normal Informatica developer no need to create these data models, right?
no. I mean, this must be the one who will be creating it who has very well grip on the source system, because he must know the business, which table will go to which dimension, what is the business rules. He will be interacting with the client, he will be getting the inputs, and based on that he will be designing the model, what is the model like. So based on that, they will prepare the high level document, then that's how it goes.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
so normally
we know what. Yeah, go ahead.
Normally, which schema do you follow for your projects?
We follow the star schema. We are following the star schema here in my project. Okay. Generally, they may ask you like which schema you follow, or you can say any of the schemas, but they ask you like which schema is better. If you say star is better, they'll ask you why not snowflake. Can you explain? If you say snowflake, they say why not star. Okay, it's very diplomatic. You have to say according to book knowledge, star is better, but my personal experience says it's snowflake. Because then if they ask like why, means you can say that because we started with the star schema, but our requirement changed in between, and we have to make the dimensions normalized, so we went to the stars. Snowflake store. That way you can say.
Okay.
Okay.
So that is how it is done. In the real time also, like we start with the star schema, and if we need.
No, that is not the real. No, this is like I'm just telling to avoid that trap. If you say anything is better, they'll surely ask you like why not the second one.
Okay. Okay.
So we are giving them a chance to ask a couple of more questions.
So to avoid that, you are saying that according to the books, star schema is better, but with our personal experience, snowflake.
Snowflake is.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it gives like a diplomatic answer, and you don't. They think okay, they knew the concept, and then they know how they are implementing this.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and now we'll go with like what are the types of dimensions we have, okay, and what are the types of facts we have here, okay. We have three types of dimensions. Okay, these are the three types of dimensions which we have in in data warehousing. Okay, so these are like one is conformed dimension, degenerated dimension, and junk dimension. Okay, what is a conformed dimension is a dimension is said to be conformed if it is used in more than one schema. Okay, we'll be having 10-15 schemas based on if you have 10 fact tables, we'll be having 10 schemas. In that schemas, if a dimension is used in more than one or two schemas, then that type of dimension is called a conformed dimension. By default, your time dimension is a conformed dimension. I told that every detail in the data warehousing is captured on time. So whenever you are loading a dimension table, a fact table, there will be one dimension which is conformed. Like for example, here the time dimension is called as period. Okay, this period dimension is called a conformed dimension because this will be available in multiple fact tables. Okay, this dimension is a conformed dimension. By default, you can say blindly that your time dimension is a conformed dimension. Apart from this, you can have any dimension. It is not mandatory, but you can have a customer dimension or a product dimension or any location or branch can be a conformed dimension. Okay, but by default, time dimension or calendar dimension can be your conformed dimension. Clear? Okay. Now coming to degenerated dimension.
Yes.
There will be no physical dimension table existing, but the values are directly populated to target. Here, if you see, here from here only the keys are getting populated. So I don't have this kind of physical table, but the values like, for example, take sales unit and sales retail or your degenerated values. So they are getting directly from source. We are just putting it the values into here, into the fact table. We don't have a physical dimension table, but the values are directly populated to a fact table. There are only used widely in couple of projects. There are sales projects, they are widely used. The columns are only two columns which will be directly populated. There are invoice amount, invoice number. Why they are populated is in the sales you will be having account receivables and account payables tables. So everything will have to be raised with an invoice and invoice number. So whenever we are creating account receivable and account payable pack, we load these data directly into those tables. This is how it works. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, can you please explain again, sir?
Okay. Degenerated dimension, we don't have a physical table, physical dimension table, but the values are directly populated to a fact table. Only invoice amount and invoice number are the degenerated dimension values which are directly populated to fact without having a physical dimension. Okay. These dimensions are generally used in sales projects.
But why do we don't have a physical dimension for invoice amount?
Because invoice we don't have any columns. We will be having invoice number, invoice amount, and the date column in an invoice table.
Okay, so those are okay, got it. Okay.
That's how we just based on the IDs invoices we'll go and load it into directly fact tables, like whether it's a receivable amount or payable amount. We load directly to the fact table.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And now junk dimension, this is no longer being used. Junk dimension is a dimension which has junk data like flags and indicators. For example, if you have a customer table in a bank dimension, it says is the customer active or not, is the customer having a home loan, like those are the flags and indicator values which are stored in junk dimension. But nowadays, what the designers are doing is that data modelers, they are just adding the flags. Is active, flags in dimension only. If yes, they will say yes. Earlier it was in junk dimension, but now to reduce that, they are just directly adding the columns to the dimensions only. For definition purpose, we can say it's a junk dimension is the one which stores the junk data like flags and indicators to store the related data of customers or any other dimension. But now we are directly populating the flags and indicators data into the dimension tables only, main dimension tables only. Okay. These are the three types of dimensions we have. These are types of dimensions. There are one more type that we'll discuss later. They are called slowly changing dimensions. These are something which says how do you load the data into a dimension table? What kind of data you are loading into dimension table? As I said, it will be like historical data or current data, or you want to partial history. Okay. If they ask you what are the types of dimensions, you have to say this one, type 1 or CD1. It maintains only the current data. Type 2 or CD2. Complete history. Right. These are the types how we load the data into the dimension tables. You asked, right, what is history we maintain, or all these things. These are the jobs which load the data into dimensions. We have the current data dimensions. We have the complete history. Which dimensions you want to maintain the complete history, and which dimensions you want to maintain the partial history. Based on this, we'll be loading the dimension tables. Okay, and all the facts will have only the current data. They follow only a CD type to load the data into the fact tables. Clear? We'll go in depth description how they are loaded, how they are maintaining the history, or what are the processes to maintain the complete history, and what is the process we follow to maintain the partial history. We'll go through when we are discussing more detail about those things. Okay. Now we go to facts.
Okay.
This is one of the mandate question for informatics. Interview point of view. What is a factless fact table? Any guesses?
There will not be any measurement in that?
Yes. Yeah. We don't have any measures. We have only keys. Why do we need a fact table which doesn't have measures, only keys to be loaded? Any idea?
No.
Okay. Now, for example, we want to join a couple of dimensions here, and we don't have common columns in these two things to join the data. Okay, in data warehousing, there will be a subject-wise, there will not be a common column which can be used to join two dimensions. In that case, what we do is we generate a factless fact tables, because we are just populating the keys of multiple dimensions into that fact table which are surrounded. So we can join based on that. Right? That is the reason why we generate factless fact tables. Clear?
I'm sorry, can you repeat it? When we don't have any common columns?
So you want to join a product and location dimension. Okay. Now we don't have any common columns in these two, but we want to get like which product is available in which location.
Okay.
So we don't have any joining condition. We don't have any common columns in both the things. So what we'll do is, there is a fact table. This key is available in this fact, and this key is available in this fact. Via this fact, we can connect and we can get the information from location and product, right?
Yes.
So that is why we use the factless fact tables.
Okay.
Only for join purpose we are using them.
Okay.
Okay.
So fact list fact table is like a separate table where it has only keys or
Yeah, it has only keys. It will not have any measures.
and so in the example that you are showing there is no fact list fact table there, right? Or is there one?
Yesterday, right? No, here it doesn't have any factors factor. It has the measures.
Right. So in the example that you are showing, all the three fact tables they have measures, right? There is no fact list fact table in there.
Yeah, there is no factors factor. I'll show you like when I log into my system, right? I'll show you in the real environment how we design the factors fact tables.
Okay.
Okay. And there are three types of facts. One is called additive facts, semi-additive facts, and non-additive facts. These things are just for theoretical purpose. In real time, you'll be least bother like what facts you are loading, what things, because your job is to load the data and the this thing like uh, the reporting team will be getting the data and showing up to the users. Okay, your job will be just to load the data based on the data mapping document which will be provided by the user. Let me show you the data mapping document how it will be. Okay, this is your data mapping document. Okay, this is your data mapping document. From here, we are pulling the data. Okay, this is your source table, branch and division. Okay, so from here they will be providing these conditions: join branch, company chip, and contact name to get the branch manager name. All these things they will be providing the rules. So based on this, you will be loading to the dimension tables and the fact tables. Okay, let me show you. Yeah, if you see here, this is one business rule which you have to apply when you are loading the data into any this dimension table. Okay, this is the condition. They are just given in a high level that this is the things you have to use. Based on this, you have to build the Informatica code. You will be changing the logics inside the transformations and loading the data. Okay.
So this document, who provides this document?
This document we have to sit with the client. I mean, I'm the SME for this, so we have to sit with the client. We have to understand his requirement. We have to prepare this and we have to send it to the development team.
Okay. So
Based on this, the development team will be working and building the code on this requirement.
So the data modeler will be responsible to provide this, or?
Yeah, it can be a data modeler and a guy who is good with the source systems. If he understands the source systems, he knows the process like what dimensions are need to be built. Based on that, we'll be doing this.
Okay.
Okay. So these are like three types of facts. What we have, one is additive fact, semi-additive fact, non-additive fact. Okay. So what happens is, what is additive fact is, if you have a columns in your fact table, if you have 5 columns, all the 5 columns can be added across all dimensions. Whichever dimensions are used in your fact, they can be added across all dimensions. Those type of facts are called additive facts. 5 columns are measurable columns. All the 5 columns can be added. Means like sum of amount withdrawn, sum of amount deposited, sum of amount is the balance for the day. All these things. These are the 3 columns which you have in fact table. So you can add all those 3 columns based on the day. Okay, today what is the number of deposits? What is the number of withdrawals? What is the number of and what is the total balance available? So we are adding up all these 3 columns. So that is called additive fact. If you can add all the columns in a fact table, that is called an additive fact. Semi-additive is, for example, you have amount, deposit, withdrawn, balance, and percentage of change or something we have. So you cannot add all the different columns. Percentages you cannot add at all. So these are called semi-additive fact tables. And non-additive are where you have bonus, percentage, averages, all these kind of columns. You cannot add any of the column value to show up in the report. Those tables are called non-additive facts. Clear?
Sorry, sir, can you repeat for semi-additive and non-additive?
Okay. Semi-additive, you have 4 columns in a fact table. Okay. And 3 columns can be added, 1 column cannot be added. If there is a percentage column in the fact, and you cannot add percentages, right?
Okay.
So those kind of facts are called semi-additive facts.
Okay.
Okay. Non-additive are something which have averages, percentages, bonus, what is the bonus received, what is that, all those things cannot be added at all. Those are called non-additive facts.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
These are the things, types of schemas, types of dimensions, and types of facts. And how you load the dimensions is a series, like what you want to maintain. Okay, you want to maintain complete history, or you want to maintain the partial history, all these things we'll be doing. Okay.
So the slowly changing dimension, so it is always called SCD1, SCD2, SCD3.
Yes.
So SCD1 is current data and SCD2 is complete history, SCD3 is partial history.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there we have to, this is like the client will tell like which data he want to maintain the history. Based on that, you have to design the dimension model.
Okay.